Let's begin our trip back into the gateway. We don't necessarily do recaps here, but we do have slight memories of what happened. And here's how it goes. Our vision as an entire conglomeration returns from the dark, swirling back into the world around you. We last left you. You had left the tower. You were making a couple of other decisions. You had turned over some things to the proprietors of
Let's what?
the Blood, Sweat, and Tears uh, arms crafters. Each of you got or asked for something minor, not really magical, while your friend Horby turned over something that would be of great use in crafting something of even greater use to Smith, the enchanter. That's where we left off. You hadn't quite left the shop yet. Some of you were still lost in the wonder of your newest piece. The half helm, the boots with that had wheels in them, the different toys that Weston, the ever curious Smith, had brought to the table when you started asking about little help here and there. This is where we find our adventurers, our indeed key holders in the gateway. After all, each one of you now has your own key.
Bjorn is kind of just rolling around the entranceway of the shop on his derby boots.
The scene is yours. While the other players may not be here, their characters are still window shopping around, doing things, staying close by.
There's a there's a couple things we should probably take care of. We've got to get the adamantium for Smith. Had to think for a moment.
We're going to the dark cave again.
No, the dark cave was where we found Mithril. We'll have to find we'll have to just over the table. Wesson gave us something to give to Revolver to get us to that location, right?
Yep.
Okay. We take this to Revolver and he'll send us to a place where we can get the adamantine with that we need for what Smith is making. And if we're lucky, we might be able to find some extra that may even further aid us in the trip we're going to be taking. But I would feel better if we got a move on and got started on gathering some of the stuff that we need because the more time that we burn, the more time things get worse over there.
Yeah, I think we should get this accomplished as quickly as possible.
Now, Biren, would you care to lead us back to Revolver's shop?
Revolvers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wait, wasn't there something else we needed before we went to revolvers?
Um, no, we need the adamantine for Corby stuff. We need information that we can't get until the next morning. Until
And you hear Baron's stomach rumble.
I suppose
We
is in
should
order.
eat before we go.
Getting really low on those sausages, huh? I
Those are
jest.
for trade.
Fair enough. We should grab lunch before we go.
I think I've only eaten one.
You've used the rest as trade or feeding people to gain
Favor.
vote. Yeah.
Mainly Smith.
Yep, I was just say that's why Smith loves me.
Mm-hmm. So then let's make a sidetrack to the court, grab lunch, and then we'll hit revolvers and make our way to this location that Weston gave us.
Well then, you walk. Your group walks out of the shop, leaving light pinging from behind at the forge, only to be once again enveloped by the cacophony that is brought with the sea of people that you are familiar with as the streets of this place. You weave through with the same elegant ease as usual, with your friend pulling you along. It takes 5, 10 minutes to get to the court, to get looking for something else to eat. What are you looking for this time?
We just did tacos this morning.
I
So
mean,
um pizza.
Go ahead and give me a perception check, each of you.
okay.
Nope. Nope. I'm too distracted by beer and stomach grumbling. I rolled a
Beer.
1.
Baron lets his nose be his guide and immediately finds something with his nat 20.
That's better than my nat 1.
Got the wrong screen. Hold on. Yeah. I'm also distracted by the grumbly stomach with my 3.
So, you're not wrong. The others are distracted, partially by your stomach, partially by, you know, it's a loud crowd. It's not like focusing is simple when you're looking for something and there is a lot of loud noises. So, but you're used to city noise. This may be turned up to 11, but it's a lot more of the same. Hard to distract you with it. your nose does lead you to something new. There is a tent that is just off from another building that is just slapped together. And you don't see an entrance on that small building that is slapped together and has bricks and large stones and other different parts of masonry that are just it looks like a child's pillow fort. Like it shouldn't stand. But right next door is this orange tent. And as you walk in, no sign, no buffering curtain, nothing to mark it as something different. Except the orange tent. And you step through, and the cacophony behind you fades once again to a different, much lower, much more intimate cacophony. Clinking glasses, a small crowd of people that are just talking low. There is a single creature that is sitting at a pedestal, just kind of looking out at you as you approach in. Long snout, beady eyes, long whiskers, large, round, but scuffled ears. You get up close and you realize that they are standing on the stool instead of sitting on it. He doesn't say anything until one of you does.
Hello.
Hi. Yes.
3. Well, the others are still with us, aren't they?
Yep.
So not just 3. Yeah.
7.
5.
He wheels around and he's looking off to the side and oh, there's a table about 3 yeah, a table about 3 settings closer to us than the corner there. That one is just being cleaned up. You go there. They're gonna ask you your drinks, and then you can hit the buffet. And if you want, you can try the weird fucking casino over there.
Weird casino. Fair enough. And make our way over to I'll make my way over to the table.
Yep.
This place is not necessarily packed to the gills, but it does seem like they're trying to keep all of the seating closer to the tent side of this building. It clicks that the other side is that weird building that looks like it shouldn't be standing. And you sit at this table. It is big enough for probably about 8. And the lighting here is from different kinds of chandeliers that are kind of just all set to this side. And you're looking about, and a very thin figure walks up, wearing a white shirt, a black vest, and one side of the vest has a lapel. And it's hard to tell what exactly they are. I'm not just talking race, I'm talking gender. They're very diverse in themselves while being androgynous. Their form keeps changing. Second by second, something small changes. Different color hair, ear turns to a point. One eye changes color. Things like that. How can I serve you? What drinks would you like?
Just water for me.
Water.
Seawater, please.
Right. And how will you be paid?
How about a self-portrait of you?
Portrait of me ain't gonna do. The proprietor it ain't good. I changed too much.
What about a portrait of the building?
That might do.
All right. Just gonna pull out her things and start working on a little portrait.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that performance.
Hmm? 22.
22 will do it. About 5 minutes later, you've turned over this painting of the building from the outside. Or is it from the inside?
I'm doing the inside.
Cool. So from your table, you have the picture with the different chandeliers of different types and the separation between the seating and the buffet of pizza, which is also separated by a set of 3 steps up to a slightly higher level where there is indeed gambling tables. There's a small arena in the corner that is currently being used by a couple of orcs that are just punching. They are having their own little boxing match over there. There's betting going on.
Interesting.
And you are noticing that not all of those people up there are adults.
You put us in a more fancy version of Cece's.
CC's, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
It's like 6 different bad pizza places put into one. Wonderful and terrible.
Cece's was the shit growing up. Now now it is shit.
I think I've only been to that place once while it was still good.
I've never even heard of it until I started talking to the Midwesterners.
Well,
I've
since I
bumped into
worked at
so many of them.
CC's and could just make myself a fresh pie before I left, it was always nice.
That sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you are in the
Mhm.
world's best worst child casino pizzeria. After you finish the painting, all of your drinks arrive, and you're free to take from the buffet, which there's no light above it. There's no sneeze guard or anything like that. It is just a long plate of metal that seems to be just short of glowing hot that is keeping those pizzas warm and cooked.
Definitely hitting that.
There are
Well,
36 kinds of pizza here, ranging from just plain to several different kinds of meat that all kind of look like pepperoni pizzas. There are some vegetarians. There is one that there is so much vegetation and cheese piled on it, it looks like a puffer fish about to explode. You don't know how that's still pizza.
Is there any with pineapple?
There is one where the crust is made of it.
Oh fuck yeah,
We're hitting the pineapple pizza.
definitely.
Jesus Christ, I just made something that I could not want more.
Pineapple crust pizza, bro. uh
Pineapple crust or pineapple lining the crust so you still have bread. Then you have the sauce, and then you just put cheese and anything savory on it. Your
yes.
preferred savory, like. I know we're
Yes.
gonna get hate on that, but listen, eat your pizza how you like. Don't shit on mine.
Exactly.
Pineapple, pepperoni, banana peppers.
that actually sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Anyway, you make your selections of pizza. You go back, you have some of your food, you have some of your drink. You're discussing what your plans are after the meal. Some of you might even be eyeing the gambling area. It's kind of a confusion.
Or the people in the gambling area.
It's kind of a confusion. A place that is based completely on trade and not on coin. How do you have gambling?
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to go look.
Yo.
Same. Bet you they gamble in favors.
Several of your party stay back and keep the table alive so that it doesn't get swept away and cleaned and replaced with other patrons. And the three of you take to the floor, go up those steps and head into the gambling area. And I told you there were tables. There are so many games here. Some that you're familiar with, different card games. Some that look like they are some that are new card games to you. Some that are people are betting on dragon chess. People are betting on spinning a wheel. There is a box in the corner that this one woman will not stop pulling the lever on. This side of this place is a completely different end of indulgence. The indulgence of what if. And you start seeing what their what some of them are putting up. Some of them are putting up just slabs of food, or some are putting whole ass weapons on the table. Some are putting just tiny beads. Some are talking back and forth about what they could give if the other bet something else. You're not wrong that some of them are trading in favors. Some of them are trading in memories. Some of them are just whole ass finished products of things that you would find in a normal market back home. It depends on the table.
Oh.
You find at one of the tables that has a wheel that rotates in the center and has a single red ball bouncing and stopping in one of the slots that's marked a number. You find there that there is a troll that has bet 17 of his fingers on a color, a couple of numbers, and the word even. And it can
That's
only be his fingers because you see the nubs growing back on his hand.
pretty sure he's lost a thing or two. So it
Sounds like
seems,
a lot of dead body parts.
oh, he seems to be, none the worse without them. They seem to be growing back.
Hmm.
Place is
Not very
rather,
hygienic.
interesting. If we had more
Shawnee's gonna
time.
kind of look at him and, is there anything in this place that isn't?
That's true. Fair point. If we had more time, we could, I'd say, try our hand at a few of these, but, I don't know if now is the greatest time to do that.
As you say that, 3 children of separate races race past you to another game that is just a series of buckets and a
No.
ball. Even the children can gamble here. You see
It might
the
be good to,
creature. You see the creature that's actually running the bucket booth, the bucket game. Seems to be a small pixie that is just floating in midair with a small pail. And as somebody goes to play the game, she holds out her hand, and a small piece of ivory is put in her palm and then added to the bucket.
it
We
might
have
not be a
other
bad
things
Sounds like
idea.
the
to.
sounds like the tooth fairy. Oh, that's awesome.
The tooth fairy is running bozo buckets.
It might not be a bad idea to stay for a moment and let Baron have the experience.
Oh, Baron has something else on his mind going out.
Sure he
Uh-oh.
does. This place isn't protected like the street is. Is that what's going through his head?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it might be.
Well, if that's, I'm just gonna look over at the fighting pit.
As you get closer, the two combatants switch out. One of them is handed a bag that's full of rolled up papers. Looks at the other one, punches him in the arm, says something in Orc, and they head on back down to a table. It seems like they didn't really have a grudge. They just had something to prove and a bet to make. You see a big chalk mark come down across there's a blackboard there, and that fight has been crossed off. And the next one in line, you see the combatants getting ready to jump into the ring themselves. One is this insectoid-like creature with 4 arms, dark carapace, and uh, a pair of mandibles that just do not seem to move as it looks, gives a nod. Occasionally, its smaller arms reciprocate and then pause and pull back in. And across from them is possibly the largest frog person you have ever seen. And are they are only wearing pants, and they are blue. And their form is rigid.
Hmm.
And the one that crossed the previous fight off with Chalk looks back up at the bug-like one and goes, "Yeah, sure about this. If he puts you down, you come up as one of his. You know that." Okay. And this, you would swear by their form they were supposed to be a dwarf, but they seem hairless and pale. They're the one that marked it off. They're the one that talked to the bug-like creature. They're the one that heads off to the central corner opposite the corner of the building. Takes a heavy sigh and rings a bell. And the two combatants go at each other. You see lightning strikes just coming in from 4 sets of arms and a pair of legs springing out of the way. And the frog-like creature seems to be taking most of it, being pushed back slightly, but just pulling back slowly. And then clapping and casting a spell right in front of him. It's one of those fights. Anything goes. What's ever agreed on. And you see lightning crackle. You smell ozone. You hear the blast that silences the room for only a moment. And then you see the backwards bending leg of the insect sweep underneath the thick legs of this toad-like creature. This fight continues on till both are bloody, and finally the toad-like creature croaks out something in a language no one should know. And the bell rings again. The vibrant shell of the insect creature fades back down and goes to a dark purple, almost matching the thick, gooey blood that is coming out of its exoskeleton. It takes one of the larger hands and wipes away the blood from its mandibles. Looks over to the what you can only call a hairless dwarf and gives him a nod. Gives him a nod to gives a nod to the toad-like creature. Gives him a nod again and holds out two of his hands. He's paid ambiguously with large sacks of something that looks like it's heavy. His body leans to the side as he takes the weight. You see the insect look at the toad-like creature again. Looks over at the hairless dwarf, points at the toad-like creature, and then walks away. Hairless dwarf walks over, feeds him something out of a small glass vial, and the toad-like creature spits up a ridiculous amount of blood, but sits up. Speaks in a language that is misunderstood here. The dwarf kind of, you lost. Big fucking deal. You can win a different fight. That goes on for a while.
Huh.
What you're seeing is whoever makes the fight, whoever does the challenge and accepts the challenge, they make the rules of the fight. They make a bet between them, and a portion of any bets made near the ring on the fight, they get a portion of that too.
I'm just gonna watch
Okay.
while Biren does his thing.
So Bjorn, you're coasting through the crowd.
Yep.
How are you doing this?
My normal stroll through, well, what I would normally do in the street, I'm going to be doing like I'm looking at the games as I'm moving through the crowd of people.
Okay. There are plenty of games here, as I've said. Many different ones. From ones that you know back home to ones that you've never seen. You see a variation on something that it looks very familiar, something you taught to one of the other kids, though it's being run by a small fox-like creature whose fur is completely green. And they have three cards that are just peaked, and they are flipping them back and forth, and person on the other side points, and the fox snickers, pulls up that card, shakes his head, and takes the ante that's on the table. You used to do this for coin.
Do I notice the card up his sleeve?
You do not notice one up his sleeve because he doesn't have sleeves. You do notice the 6 behind his ears, though.
All right. So I'm not actually going to be playing any games. What do you need me to roll?
Um, how many prizes are you going for?
Ooh.
5?
Ooh.
Tables or pockets?
I think I need a special roll for that. Hang on a second.
Stupidity die?
I'm going to say three pockets and 2 tables.
Okay. Go ahead and give me 5 sleight of hands. The tables will be the last 2.
$15. Nat 20.
Okay.
22
Okay.
and 27.
I believe that's only 4 rolls.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I
Need-
had to roll one more. And it was another nat 20.
Okay. So I have one question because I rolled a couple of dice to set the DC for you. Are you going, are you being greedy or are you being very cautious?
Oh, I'm being cautious. My normal level of cautiousness.
Well then, the second pocket that you try or that you start, you notice them turning and you cut. You don't get anything off of that one. You back off, you roll back into the crowd. The first one. High or low?
Low.
And I have a separate question based on the exact same roll. Odd or even?
Um. Ooh. Let's go even.
On the first, you find a ornate dagger worth about 30 gold back home. Second one you miss out. Third one, high or low?
Let's go high this time.
And odd or even?
Even.
This one, you you do the bump, and you come away, and you get about 30 feet into the crowd before you realize exactly what you have on you. And why crosses your brain as you now have a 25-pound potato.
He shakes his head and just sticks it in his bag and keeps going.
You head over to a table. Are you going for a card or a different kind of game?
Um, I will go first to a card game and then to something else.
Okay. Once again, high or low, odds or evens.
High odds.
You pull a bag that has some weight, a good amount of weight. When you check it later, I'll tell you what's in it. Once again, high or low, odds or evens.
Let's go low evens again.
£25 carrot.
I'm gonna do something a little special for this one. You can choose either high or low or odds or evens for this one.
Um, Low.
You find a golden statuette of a cat, and only one of its arms moves.
All right.
You may have just stolen the lucky cat off of a Chinese checkers table.
My mind went to Lucky Cat, so.
So you had roll for the one that you missed, you rolled just short of the DC that I had set. And if you had missed by 10, they would have caught you. But you missed by like 3, and if you were going to risk it, they would have caught you. If you, as you did it cautiously, you just, nope, not not worth it.
Bjorn may have issues, but he's not stupid. I
Hey,
mean, he did just get on to those kids at the beginning for doing something stupid.
yeah. And with that, you have successfully did 4 pulls from this crowd. One was a close call. and your adrenaline might be rushing a little bit. A little bit of feeling of home sits in your chest.
Mm.
But you're also not, as you just said, not stupid. You don't pick a place clean.
Nope. Um, so Biren will head back over to Adraxan and popping up next to him's, we should go now.
He looks down at him. Did you complete what you wanted to do?
We can talk about that later. We should go now.
Let's go grab the others then.
Walking past the buffet, Biren reaches over and grabs a piece of pizza, folds it in half, and stuffs the whole piece in his mouth, just pulling away the crust. And
Cartoon
drops
cats.
crust
Car-
on his plate as he's
cartoon
eating.
does the entire cartoon cat with a fish. Yep. Okay. So are you hanging out at the table or are you leaving?
No, we should go.
Leaving. Unless there was something that Deshani wanted to do while we were all there.
Did Shawnee want to gamble?
Okay.
I heard a voice. I did not hear what you said.
I said it's okay. We should go now.
Okay.
We'd always come back.
She accidentally caught somebody cheating, called them out, and is now wanted. But no. You make your way from one cacophony to another, quiet to quite loud. Your stomachs are sated, and you're being smart. You're heading straight to Revolver's place because this was the only thing that you said you wanted to do beforehand. And you head back over to Revolver's for the third time today. You reach into the place, and for the first time, you see the back end of somebody's heel as they're stepping through one of the middle two doors. This is the first time you've seen anybody else actually entering or exiting this hall. All you saw was the heel of a boot, dark color, that's it. And Revolver is there, unlike last time. He has his boots up on the desk, and he is practicing something that looks like a solid bagpipe, except instead of sticks that go off the side, it has keys like a um keys like an organ, and there is a very weird sound coming out of it that is melodic, but you've never heard a sound like it.
She got there, friend.
He stops blowing into the pipe and the music slowly dies down. That's a new toy that I don't think is gonna turn to dust in my hands as fast. It's not made super durable, but it's worth practicing on. He just kind of puts it down, leans it against the chair. Can I do for you?
Well, we took your advice and went to the tower. Spoke with the head priest there, father, however they referred to him, and said he's going to be getting you some help for the situation we talked about.
Fuck me, it's been like 2 years since he's actually helped me in one of these. Your your little group is a bit of a wonder. You've been positively stirring some of the folk that have been kind of stagnant.
Well, this is one of those situations where people need to be stirred.
You ain't wrong. Just wanted to put a little flame behind your pride because you may need it with all of this going.
I appreciate it. We also made another stop before coming back this way.
Really?
The father gave us an item, and told us to take it to Smith and Wesson. We took it there, and Wesson gave us some cool stuff. We can find some adamantine. They need it for the item they're crafting for our cleric friend. And he'll produce the piece of paper and set it on the desk in front of him, so he doesn't have to worry about touching it.
Looks at it. Okay, that's doable. Um, word to the wise, if you see a head, don't chop it. It's gonna turn bad. And he holds
Fair
out
enough.
the crust that he has.
Jackson will take his and touch it to it.
Offers it up to the rest of you.
And just so it's known, I'm replacing the pathway to the Funland.
You're replacing it. You don't have to.
Oh, okay. I
It
was.
is just
Oh, that's
how
right.
many you can get in a day so that your brain doesn't turn to Swiss cheese.
Okay, okay. I misunderstood that then.
But it is a fairly endless receptacle. It's just, oh, cool. I've got 6 of these. I want 3 more places real quick. 2 of them will be fine. 1 of them, you're going to have to roll one hell of a save.
So, yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'll touch mine as well.
You each touch your medallions or other key types to it, and you step on through as he puts his away and you put yours away. Be careful. Mining might be simple, maybe a little more difficult for you, but as I said, don't chop heads. It's a bad idea. Thing that guards that place is its own type of challenge. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Going through.
Put that over there so that I can keep looking at it without having to lose this screen. So you are, as you walk through the rotating glass, that you feel that warm sensation and then a quick cooling sensation starting from your core going out to your extremities and the top of your head. And the marble hall behind you is replaced by a red dusk and mist, and the only light that you are getting is from the sky above you. the ground below you is cracked and barren. Off onto the left, you see a small hill that has some things glinting. And off to the right, there's something large. You, for a moment, think it's a hill, but it stirs. Behind you is only the doorway and more vast waste. What you doing?
Trying not to wake the big thing that's stirring.
Yeah. Um.
Well, if you are trying to move without waking
Boy,
a a creature that is off to the side, I would say you need to make stealth checks.
Well, that should be fun.
I'm going to make this a group check because it only makes sense.
Okay.
that's an 18. Seems to be my
Wow.
number this night.
I rolled at disadvantage an 18 and a 15, so I've got a 16. Could have been a much worse.
26.
Okay. The rolls I just made were for your party members that are not here. Between all of them and you don't seem to stir the creature, as some of you are starting to creep forward. One of you stops them before they step on a stick. One of you is about to kick a rock, and you stop just short and move off to the side and continue walking forward. Together, you make the 40-foot. It's only 40 feet from the door. You make it to the hill, and you see it's pot marked. Things have been dug out of this place before, but considering you're also seeing that this hill still has a lot of metal just sticking right out of it. There's a moment where you're going, this is gonna be a lot harder than it seems, considering the fact that, like, who leaves raw material like this when they're actively taking raw material? What are you doing?
Moving away from the thing that was moving.
What was that, Serby?
Moving away from the big thing that was moving.
It is pretty much directly the opposite direction from the door as the hill that you were moving towards.
Mining too close to that thing would probably be a bad idea.
I agree. I'll probably wake it. Um, if we were to, is there a way to go around the hill?
Yep.
And if looking around one of those directions that pulls us further away from the sleeping creature, is there still signs of that ore?
Yes. There's
Okay.
also other portions of the hill that look still as pockmarked. Like large amounts were just pulled out, and then they left before taking more. Because who knows? Maybe they didn't have the storage capacity. Maybe they were being chased by a snarling monster.
Um,
Maybe they heard their mother calling their name. Who knows?
another question. Given the what I'm assuming is the guardian, um, are there portions around that seem that people coming to mine weren't so didn't get to leave?
Give me a perception check.
Basically, I'm looking for tools. That's not terrible. 15 on the die, so with my +7, that's a 22.
Okay. So there are a couple of these veins that are sticking out, and there are a couple of them that you take notice of something fairly grim. There's still, in some cases, an arm gripping or having a death grip on a pickaxe that is stuck in the material very close to where it is crested into the earth. Like they missed, a sound happened, and then problems happened very rapidly after. There is an
He was too close
arm.
to the monster.
There were. You find in similar situations over the course of this area, 2 pickaxes and a shovel.
Now the question is, can they be removed without causing sound?
Everybody's favorite phrase. You can certainly try.
I believe that would be in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, because we need tools if we're gonna effectively mine. The last time, crowbar worked, but that was,
You
we
almost
weren't
broke
having
your you almost broke your crowbars. You caused damage to each other.
and we weren't having to worry about being quiet.
All right, so what do you want me to roll for this?
um to get things out silently, I believe sleight of hand makes the most sense.
Well, the first one is a 28.
I would say you get a pickaxe and an arm that finally lets go, that you catch just before it hits the ground so that it doesn't make a loud thud.
And then he just lays it on the ground, not wanting anything to do with it.
The clever
Second
parts
one
the clever
is
parts of my brain are going like, you could do things with that.
Oh no, I'm definitely thinking about things to do with that. Um, while he's acquiring these tools, um, does that is there any indication of what that creature might be? Or is it
Um,
something that I would have never come across?
You've got the vision to be able to see it. Go ahead and give me a history check.
So a straight D20 roll.
While you're doing that, what
24
was, you get another pickaxe.
and 19.
You get a shovel, but the hand does not leave the handle.
I have a 17 on that history check.
You've never come across, you've heard plenty of creatures of huge size. You've heard of plenty that are ravenous and are known for particular potent abilities. What Revolver said, it's just at the tip of your tongue. You just barely can't think of it right now.
In that instance, I'm going to pick up the severed arm that's off the ground. And I am going to also remove the one off the shovel.
Okay. You now have 3 digging implements and 3 dead limbs that are past the point, or at the point of rigor mortis has set in so hard that they are stuck.
Alright, can I tell what the creature is?
Go ahead and give me a history check.
History I am good at. 22.
Between what Revolver said, being able to see the size of this thing and the odd movements in the dark, you take a moment and your heart begins to beat a little bit faster. Your breaths become a little bit more shallow as you start to count heads. 1, 2. You can see 3 barely moving on long necks wrapped around its vast body. You've heard of these creatures before. You've never seen one. You've never even met somebody who has seen one. They're that dangerous. But now you can say you've seen a Hydra. These are
I'll
beasts who are known for their hunger. It is literally all consuming to them.
What'd you say, babe?
I'm going to relay the information to the others, and well, now we know why he said don't cut off the heads.
And now that she brings up the name, Adraxin,
Mm-hmm.
the only person that you've ever known, that you've heard stories of, that you've actually met, that has dealt with and slain, not just survived, but slain one of these creatures, was your grandfather?
Oh, well, do us best to avoid stirring that creature at all costs. Now that we have tools, let's see if we can find a place.
Particular memory stirs within you of your grandfather saying if you ever catch one sleeping, they're never truly sleeping. And with that thought jolting up the back of your spine, take one last look over the hill and see one of the heads rearing up, taking a look around while the rest of the body slumbers.
I'm gonna cast Mage Hand, and I'm gonna say, "Give me an arm."
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to distract the wakened head.
How about we
Well,
leave it alone and just go the other way?
How far is it, Tormy?
From this side of the hill,
Mhm.
it is approximately 150 feet away.
Not gonna work. Damn it.
Don't worry. I can distract it with the arms if we need to. That's why I took them.
Well, I figured that we'd do it away from us.
That's only going to let it know that something's around, and it may not go back to stop looking once it starts. It's not truly asleep, but for now we've seemed to avoid it. Yeah, we've seemed to stay hidden from its gaze. Let's just go a bit further on the hill and get to work, and when it comes down to it, we'll make sure we all get out of here.
I will give you a choice. If you happen to be working on digging at this site, you can either do athletics at disadvantage and stealth at advantage, or stealth at disadvantage and athletics at advantage.
We shouldn't dig here, though. We should keep moving to the next site further away. Because obviously these people's arms that are here, they were too close to the Hydra.
Agreed.
So you're going to head further out, see if you can find another site.
Mm-hmm. Or is there one within? Is it dark here?
It is twilight and the sky is red. The dirt is dark and cracked, and there are occasional signs of what used to be life here, but even the grass is gone.
Okay.
The only thing here is dirt, and what you saw was deposits of adamantine.
Yeah. We'll keep moving a bit further and see if we can find another deposit.
Heading directly away or in an angle?
Mm,
More direct.
Okay. I'm going to ask for two things. One, I would like you each to roll a D100 and a stealth check.
Not the big guy.
86 on the D100. And disadvantage on my stealth check because my armor puts me at a 16.
20
Okay.
on the D100. And I gotta go back to my skills. I'm sorry, 17 on the stealth.
Okay.
21 on the D100 and a 23 stealth.
So you all make the stealth portion as you sneak away. But it is difficult to see more than the distance of your dark vision, as it seems to be an almost flat, barren area. You keep heading in the same direction. And one moment, I have to move a cat. And it takes you, because I was looking for more people to roll above what I rolled on the D100. And we had lower rolls instead. It takes you 2 hours of going in a straight line before you get another deposit, a hill pushing out of the ground. There are smaller deposits of metal here, but Smith only said he needed a bit.
We
And
should be far enough away now.
any sign of any other hydras?
At this distance, with some of you having dark vision of 120 feet, you do not see another moving mass.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Baron. We should be able to dig here much safer than we were before.
Now, once again, I'm going to ask for each round that or each hour that you take, give me either a stealth advantage and athletics disadvantage, or vice versa, and tell me which, and give me the rolls separately. I'm gonna step off camera.
Okay, so
Before we start,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Flock of Familiars. And I am going to set them out just beyond our dark vision to watch for any movement.
Your 4 familiars. By the way, what do your familiars look like?
Monkeys.
You've got 4 flying monkeys. They flock out. They move out into the sky above, and they set at about 150 feet, circling. They don't
And
seem to see anything just yet.
so while she does that as well, I am going to pull out a vial, pop the cork, and take a drink from it. I am going to use 3 charges on the sense deprivation vial.
Okay.
I am uh heightening. Let's see. Oh no, I don't need to choose. I just which ones I'm heightening. I just choose which ones I'm getting rid of. So I am s- I am going to sacrifice taste to get the but I need the other 3. So 4, other 4. I'll sacrifice taste and smell and to get a +4 on perception checks for 5 hours.
Okay.
But I am taking stealth advantage, athletics disadvantage because
Okay.
it negates my already disadvantage on stealth. So
And I'm doing the opposite because it just swaps my advantage on stealth.
so my stealth is a 16
Okay.
and my disadvantage on athletics is a 15.
Okay.
And my athletics was an 11, and my stealth was a 25.
Sorry, I was checking something. Um. Boy, that's not good. Okay, my stealth is a 16,
Okay.
and my athletics is a 10.
Actually, I'm gonna use my swagger on that athletics check, so it would be a 16 rather than 11.
Okay. Depending upon your athletic successes, I am going to be exchanging out what die I use for how many pounds of this you get. I'm still only going to use 1 die, but due to your successes, we are rolling on a d12 right now.
Okay.
You've gained 4 pounds of adamantine in 1 hour.
Pounds.
Miners, you are not. Adventurers, you are.
Okay.
Do you wish to do this for another hour?
I think we should.
I've got 5 hours of enhanced perception, so I can hear quite a bit. See, at least as far as my sight allows. So yeah, let's give it another hour and see what we get.
Okay. Roll again.
Keeping to the same Okay, that is a, where's my plus? Okay, so that is an 18 on stealth. And it is a disadvantage on athletics. 11's the lower number, so that is an 18 on athletics.
Okay. Next person, please.
Dirty 20 on stealth, 11 on athletics.
Next person.
Dirty 20 on stealth and a 15 athletics.
You gain another 9 pounds of adamantine.
Okay.
Do you want to break camp or do you want to try another hour?
What do you
I'm gonna
guys
light
think?
a torch, stick it in the ground, if I can.
You can
Wait,
find a crack in the ground and wedge it in. Yeah.
I can do another hour.
Okay.
Let's
If you're doing another hour, then go ahead and give me those rolls.
see. Same. Okay. So, let me pull this back up here. Stealth is once again a 16. Athletics this time is a little bit higher for a 21.
Next
21
up.
stealth and a 14 on athletics.
25 stealth and a 12 athletics.
This hour you gain 7 pounds.
Gives us 20 pounds of adamantine.
I think that's more than enough.
So you're breaking it up now?
It's up to them, but I think if we stay much longer, we'll overstay our welcome.
Agree. I don't want to catch the wrong side of that Hydra. Which is
Right.
all sides of that Hydra. And just keeping my ears open to any sound of heavy footfalls.
Okay.
As I'm putting the adamantine into my bag.
I'm going to dim the torch, but I'll keep it lit.
No,
Do you need the torch?
put it out.
You don't have dark visions, do you?
I don't.
It's okay. Baron will take your hand and lead you.
All right.
Knowing what we know about Hydras, any idea if they sense heat?
It was the more the light that I was concerned about.
It's not so much heat. It's the signs of life. They are hungry for flesh. They are supernaturally apex predators in almost any place that they are found. There are very few monsters out there that tend to stand a chance unless they are incredibly intelligent.
Okay.
By brute force, they tend to just straight out power most other things by the fact that they keep regenerating, by the fact that they keep on growing extra heads and becoming more and more dangerous.
Right.
So, you break camp. You start heading back. It took you time to get here. About halfway back, about an hour of travel. The others think they hear it, but with your increased perception, you haven't heard a roar like that before. But it's ahead of you.
I don't think it's
Oh, I
it's
do have dark
either
vision.
it's either not laying down anymore or something for some reason it's roaring. Pretty sure that's the only damn thing that can make a sound like that. Directly ahead of us, Tormy?
Directly in the same direction as the door. Which I assume is the direction you were going.
Mm-hmm. Can I get a feel for how far off this sounds?
It is still a ways off. It happened from a great distance away. You only picked it up because your hearing is currently highly enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
You figure this is the reason why it took so long already, or that it took so long for you to head back as you were being quiet, that it would only take you maybe an hour to get back. You get about halfway back and you made the or you heard the roaring. Now, that could be it waking up. That could be somebody attacking it. That could be it hunting. You don't know. You've never heard that sound before.
Right. It's gonna look. You guys have any way of making us a little bit more quieter than we already are?
Mm.
Quieter? No.
Mm. Fortunately not.
Well, I'm not quite sure what the roar means, but we need to be ever cautious. Could mean any number of things. I've never encountered one of these creatures, so I can't tell how it acts or its routine or anything of the sort. But we just need to be careful.
For me, with my history check, how much would I know about the creatures?
They are rare. They are incredibly dangerous because they are. It comes across as a pun in most of the books that that you've read about them, but it still rings true. Their hunger is all-consuming. They will not stop if there is food in the area. They eat until they are tired, they sleep, they get back up, they start hunting again. They don't care if the meat is diseased, they don't care if it's fresh. They are constantly hunting for fresh meat. And if meat isn't available, they will eat vegetation. Which it's starting to make sense why there is nothing here. Only inorganic material. And why, with a dusty, dirty ground, why the sky would seem red at night.
As we're moving, I am going to take out the limbs and just
I think Discord tried to shut you up because I got you're gonna take out the limbs and then all you were doing was smiling.
holding on to them for now.
Okay. I also wouldn't put it past you to just I pull out the limbs and then just silently smile at the camera to try and see what was going on. So you get closer. I'm gonna take the stealth checks that you used earlier, and you get closer. And it's about 10 minutes from the door. You see the hill that you decided not to mine at. And 5 minutes from the door, you're at the base of the hill. And one of you
I
starts to get a little trickle in the back of their head. Sight isn't the only sense. Hearing isn't the only sense. Those are the two that are easiest to trick with normal stealth.
cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. You're at the base of the hill.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation to give us all kind of smell of dirt.
Okay. I'll let you take a moment or two to prestidigitate just the smell of smeared dirt.
So we're at the base of the hill,
Mhm.
5 minutes from the door. Is the creature still in its place?
You're at the base of the hill. You'll need to climb a bit to be able to see that.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
it wasn't so much a hill that you could see over. It was an actual hill that, like, if it had grass on it, kids might play King of the Hill on
Okay.
and get beat to absolute hell by falling down on adamantine. You know, like kids do.
Mm-hmm.
Are you moving up the hill? Are you moving around the hill?
Are
Are you slathering yourselves in barbecue sauce? What you doing?
Around.
mm-hmm.
I was half hoping one of you would say, "We've got mining tools. Let's go under the hill." But you go around the side that you believe is closer to the door. And 2 minutes from the door, that mass is no longer on the other side, away from the door. It is actively sniffing at the air. All 5 heads. It is standing, well, its shoulders are standing about 15 feet off the ground. One of its heads is giving it another 20 feet worth of height as it's scanning back and forth.
And how far between us and the door is it?
Um, you figure the front of it is about 100 feet from the door. It's without its tail, you would say it's about 85 feet from the door. With the tail, you'd say it's about 70 feet from the door. It's at basically the other base of the hill that is at its highest point with its head, the one head that is kind of doing highest point century. It can barely see over the top of the hill. Well, if it was light out. You're fairly certain these creatures have dark vision. You're just not sure how potent that is. But there is a thing that comes to mind. They're supernatural apex predators. And they have that many heads. You're pretty sure that they're going to be very perceptive.
Sorry, I cut out there.
It's
My
okay.
net.
Deshani's earlier history check is spawning a few more details. With that many heads and the fact that they do have dark vision, you just don't remember how much, how potent that is, how far they can see. You know they're apex supernatural predators with that many heads. You are fairly certain that they are very perceptive. And that they don't necessarily only focus on their sense of sight. You've done a good job of smudging each other, or smudging your group with some dirt, so that might help. One of you is invisible, so that might help. How much are you willing to bet that you can get to that door before it senses you?
What if we drop those severed parts far away from us and make a run for it.
Oh, I was thinking about lobbing the motherfuckers.
Well, let the mage hand lob him. Lob from 30 feet away from us at least.
I mean, it's still an athletics check, so if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Quit twitching. I quit twitching.
So, go ahead.
Take it.
All right, so I'm gonna get the mage hand out, pick up those severed body parts, bring them about 30 feet away from us, and chuck them.
Okay. Go ahead and give me that athletics check with your, actually give me an arcane check.
Okay.
Oh, 23.
Nice. You watch as this hand goes sailing into the dark and out of your range of sight.
Should we run now?
One of the heads seems to be tracking where that hand went.
Does it seem to take the
And
bait?
I was giving it a count out
Oh,
while you were doing see if anybody went to do anything.
I'm gonna
It
say as soon as
doesn't.
it throws the arms, we run.
The first arm or the first hand has been thrown. There is a couple of other arms that are right there underneath the mage hand. It starts to amble and move. It's moving the other way around the hill towards the
Go,
smell of flesh.
go, go,
Go.
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 I would like either tell me you're taking stealth checks or tell me that how many move actions you're taking each turn.
Do we start off
Um,
slow and stealthy and then book it, or just book it?
I say we just book it. And dash.
For two of
So
you, that's 60 feet of movement. For one of you, that is 90.
Actually, for
Oh.
2 turns, that's 90 feet of for myself.
That's fair. And I
I have
forgot that
mine is
one of
actually
you is much more ridiculous than 90.
210.
You can get through the door if you actually put everything into it.
Oh,
Your little mage friend, however, is the slowest among you.
mhm.
If you're all booking it, I will move on to the next uh, perception check for it.
Yep.
So, Biren is through the door. The next turn.
Baron is at the door.
Okay, Biren is at the door.
So,
Next turn, Adraxon is at the door.
I'm going to actually burn one of my uses of because the last time that I changed my season, I was spring for the lightning resist. And so I'm going to burn one of my phase steps to teleport Deshani 30 feet forward. And in that same turn,
Check
keep
that
up.
ability. Can you target another person?
Phase step, spring. When you use your phase step, you can target one willing creature within 5 feet of
Yep.
you. That creature then
Okay.
teleports instead of you. So she's going to gain 30 feet, and in that same turn, I'm going to action surge to dash another 30 feet. So I keep with her.
Okay.
So we both should make it to the door around the same time. If not one
You'll-
turn behind.
You'll
each-
make it the next turn.
Okay.
You guys are about to reach the door when you hear 5 heads scream at once. The mass of this creature turn hard as it starts charging in your direction instead.
Through the door.
You make it to the door right then, as it is actually gaining momentum to head towards you. And all 3 of you have the movement speed to go through.
Going
Through the door,
through.
through the door, through the door.
And as I step through the door, I chuck the last limb that I had still in my bag because I only had 2 out. We had 3.
With dramatic effect, because I rolled well enough. You do that and you step backwards, and before we see the 3 of you spill out the other end, one of the heads catches the arm and starts gobbling it down as it crashes through where the door is that it can't interact with.
Kind of
And
hoping for one of those sci-fi moments where it hits the door, and because it's an extra planar space, it tears it in half.
wah,
I wish
wah.
it's all good.
No, what is things that can be found out later
Mm-hmm.
if you do the correct things. I'm not going to get into it because who knows, that may come in handy later, and you need to find it out first. So, you make it through, each of you huffing from the immediate amount of effort that you just put through. And the 2 of you realize that your friend Biren just. They moved not quite as fast as the Quickling back there, but they certainly would give any mortal their run for their money. And he is currently kind of drifting in a circle while the 2 of you are catching your breath.
Jesus, Baron.
Need a drink.
I like my new boots.
He said with a smile so big he almost turned Canadian. And you take notice of Revolver, and he's still playing that instrument, and turns, takes the pipe out of his mouth, and the music slowly fades off, puts it back down. I was wondering, you took longer than I was expecting, 'cause, that fucking thing doesn't quit once it's got your scent. Thought you would grab something and run right back.
Oh, we decided to go a little further out away from it after we eluded it the first time and did what we had to do farther out.
Fuck me, you avoided it the first time.
Fortunately,
Kind of, sort of did it the second time, but only for a moment.
luckily it can't interact with the door.
I mean, you could make it interact with the door, but that gets messy.
Hmm.
I also don't think that would kill it.
Might be something
Um,
we have to discuss later on.
And not something we'd like to bring back here.
no. One of the things about these doors and my other set of doors, they're a set size. Anything smaller can pass through, anything bigger can't. Doesn't necessarily mean they can't interact with it. Just means they interact a different way.
Hmm.
I'll put it to you this way. With enough force, you can stab an elephant with a wall.
Oh, that just sounds interesting.
I've only done it twice. Both times are very messy.
Biren just stops and looks over like they're crazy. How can you stab an elephant with a wall? That's just stupid.
So the art of stabbing just means that you put one thing in another thing. If you're working from the opposite end, you're putting the one thing around the other thing. With enough force, you can paint anything. The wall is one surface. You're putting the elephant around it.
Similar to
You would have to cut
tele
it in two to put it around it.
uh the nature of the door would do it itself.
Enough
But
force. Had nothing to do with a spell, fun fact. I'll never get that cannon back. Anyway,
Biren just shakes his head and continues skating around the room.
Well, we've got what we needed. Hopefully it's enough for Weston or for Smith to do his work.
heart
And then
open. If he's doing something for you lot that'll help with the situation you brought to my eyes and ears, here's hoping. It
um
is
Let's go see Smith.
one other thing, um something that might be helpful for anybody who might come to you to pass through to that area to help take care of the issue over there. They may want to make sure that they've got some sort of way to use greater restoration. The tower was used gave us a bunch of scrolls that they were trying to perfect but didn't, but they work for the basic spell.
that's fair. Um, did they? I'll tell anybody who's heading through on any of my gates. Thank
Better
you.
to be, yep, it's better to be prepared than caught unawares.
An old friend of mine that's no longer with us used to say it's better to be passively paranoid than actively ignorant.
Quite wise words. Well, we'd best be on our way. We've got a little bit more to handle, and then hopefully night's rest, and I can find out more information in the morning.
Good luck to you. I'm gonna keep watch as usual. I'm postponing my monthly sabbatical for this.
I have a feeling we're all going to need one after this is done.
Something pops up every once in a while, and it's always a big thing. And usually it's different people that take care of it every time. Some of us are usually more helpful. It's just you can only go through so many ends of the world before you get jaded.
Fair enough. Well, you have a good rest of your day, Revolver.
How many times has it? You see him start pondering, and you see him reach into his desk and pull out a uh, book made of stone with a chisel hanging off of it. "15 pages, 32 extra marks. That's I'd hire anyone out." Tosses the book back into his desk. Well, here's hoping that this first world-ending event isn't your last. You go do what you need to do. I'll keep the gates.
Fair enough. I'll
And
head off to the Bloodbath and Beyond. Oh wait, sorry, that's probably another shop.
it is.
No, blood, sweat, and tears. Arms crafters. It's fantastic.
For those at home, yes, I love making puns and wordplay that will invoke both groans and laughter. So be very warned. Yes, you make it through the crowds once again, and you make it to the shop. And Smith is finishing something very delicate. And I mean finishing. He is in the last moments of it as you come through. And he puts the thing off to the side. And Weston, it only took you 6 hours to get adamantine from that place, and you're all here unscathed? That's
I think I might have lost a couple of years off my life.
it's the gateway. You lose them, you gain them.
True.
Baron just keeps zooming around the front room. It's like I was fast.
Weston smiles
So,
and shakes his head.
how much adamantine did you need for your for this project, Smith?
Looks over to Weston. Well, I'd need about a pound of the material to make the chain correct. and he's gonna need about a pound for his enchantment. Eats
He
it right up.
reaches into his bag and sets what they got down and gets about a pound of it off for each of them.
You, for you to understand, when you were mining it out over the hour,
Okay.
you were not getting large chunks like you saw at the
Okay.
first hill. You were getting out things that were like quarter of a pound at most
Okay.
and tossing it into the bag. That's why it was taking you an hour. You had to
Okay.
sift, find a spot, pull out the stuff, and then move on.
Okay. So then rather than that, he will pull out about a pound for each of them. Um and set it near their respected areas. If you guys need any more for what you guys are crafting, let me know. I've got plenty more in the bag.
You lot have to be like the next chosen ones group or something, because you're doing so much in such a small amount of time. Haven't seen one of those particular groups in, what'd you say, 10 years? Smith nods.
Oh, I don't know about chosen. I just know that situation needs to be handled, and we're already there. Might as well grab a little bit extra since everything runs on barter.
You're not wrong. And it's being all fair, the reason why it's called chosen ones isn't necessarily fate or anything. It's just every decade or so, some group forms from different places, ends up here, and ends up helping shake things loose from being sedimentary. We call no one down in the pit will call you that, but it's kind of a thing between the shopkeepers. We call them the chosen ones because they shake things up, they get things done quite fast, and it stimulates the economy around here almost as much as the docks.
I'm
I
always
mean,
glad
What
to
was
help
I
honestly,
you.
chosen for?
hmm?
Baron stops and looks over. What was I chosen for?
Looks at the derby boots. I think you were chosen to be the fast one.
I am fast. And he keeps skimming around the room.
Completely out of character. Just the word Sanic shows up on his back.
Damn it. Um, might I ask you, are you
I
able to craft bags of holding or know anyone who would be able to?
I certainly got the leather, and he knows the magic for it. Um, how I think your horned friends thing comes a little bit in ahead of the line, but I'm sure we can work it out for you.
Yes. I think if we're going to continue to do these tasks and bring materials back that are going to help you and others, then it'd be good if we had containers to keep them in.
I ask you this: which one of you? I have. I know he did a thing. How much of that did you say you had? The adamantine?
After the 2 pounds that I gave you guys, 18 more in the bag.
15 more. And I think I have a collection that your group would really benefit from.
All right.
And she ups to her full height, hops over one of the benches, and books it to one of the corners. There is what looks to be a hat stand that has just been coated in different bags, and grabs this one, grabs that one, comes back. Now I got a question for you. Which one of you is the one that usually holds things the most?
The heavier stuff I've been holding. Just because I can carry it easier than the others.
I'm more talking for the group, in the treasurer of your little party here.
It all depends on what we've been bringing back.
Say I give you all one of these, and holds up a almost midnight black bag that she holds up, tucks the others all under one hand or one arm, and then sticks her arm through, showing that it's deeper than it should be. If I gave all the rest of you one of these, and weight wasn't a problem, so it'd be, which one of you would be the one that carries the party's loot? Which of you do you trust the most to make sure that whatever is found, and whatever is kept is kept, and whatever is shared is shared?
Probably Shawnee.
Nods.
Well, in that case, one moment, lass. You're getting the last one. Hands a midnight black bag to each one of you. Please notify the rest of the party that is not here. You are all getting one bag of holding.
Oh shit, okay.
And she gives you a smile. This lass. I have to go into notes. I haven't looked at this thing in months. I apologize for the pause. This, Smith likes to call it the governor's bag. And she hands it to you.
What is it?
1 second, I am sending the description to you. She's going to whisper this description into your ear. And I am sending it to
Maybe.
our resident D&D Beyond write-up person. Smith calls it his governor's bag. It's it's fairly ridiculous. Works pretty much like another bag of holding, but there are a few extra things to it. Um, as you can see, it's got a couple of pockets on it. It's I wouldn't say one of a kind, but I've never seen another like it. He definitely learned the enchantment somewhere.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah.
Since the rest of the party truly trust you, I think that you taking your time and getting to know this bag well will help the rest of you. And that way we also don't have to buy a Bugsmith with having extra things on his plate when he should be working on setting the enchantment after I make this chain for him. The lot of you can come back tomorrow. This is the only project we're working on today.
If
Awesome.
the person is willing for me to pull the item, would I need to pass the sleight of hand?
Uh,
Now I want to know. Someone send me
uh,
a description.
it was the governor's bag that you saw in Manor of Dread. Do you
I
remember when we were playing Drahaka Manor?
uh I remember playing. I don't remember the bag.
It was a it was the fucking bag here.
I can read it off. I'm looking at it right now.
You were talking about the 25? Or are you talking about the DC 15?
The DC 15.
Oh, it has nothing to do with willingness. This is the magic of the bag working.
Okay.
Because you are literally bypassing space.
And if I fail, it just stays in the other bag.
Yep.
Okay.
But this helps if, oh no, so and so fell. They have this many potions in their bag. You don't have to spend a turn fishing through their bag. You can just pull it.
Now I do have a question on that when I
Mhm.
go to make it. The um okay, so okay, never mind. I misread that wrong. Never mind. So the 3 foot the largest pocket is for taking items out or
Yep.
putting them in. Okay.
It is not its own storage space. It is literally, well, we're going to trick people and make them think that that's a big storage space when it's actually, I'm doing other things. This
While
bag is a deep royal purple with filigree of black and golden buttons.
and specks of silver.
Pretty.
Yep. The silver kind of reminds you of the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so as to not like hold us up here too much longer. The Weston goes, if you wouldn't mind, so that we can focus on what we need to do for you, we're gonna actually close and lock the shop. Can you,
Absolutely.
since this is important, we want to make sure it's actually done for you in a timely manner.
We appreciate
well.
it. We'll leave you to your work.
Good luck.
Thank
Same
you.
to you.
Oh, sweetie, we don't need luck. We've got plenty of skill. Gives a very wide, toothy grin that pokes out from either side of the mask that she forgot to pull up. She's been doing all this talking with the welding mask down.
Shall we then?
We shall.
And
Where are we going?
Back to the hotel.
Yes,
been a long day.
I
It
think
has.
I think I need a drink and some rest.
So that's the question. Are you stopping at a place? Are you picking something up on the way? Or are you skipping that need and going straight to your
I'm gonna pick something
room?
up on the way to drink in the hotel.
Grab drink and food so we have dinner and head back to the hotel with it.
Two questions. Do you guys have something in mind or do you want something random?
Gyros.
Same place or new place?
New place.
Please give me your perception checks.
It has been more than 5 hours, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
He wants to taste his gyro.
I didn't even think about that part. At this point, I'd probably just wolf it down whether it tastes or not. Perception 24.
Okay. How about the
21.
others?
16.
Ooh. With your perceptions and what I rolled, you come across an odd sight down the court. You're used to seeing carts and buildings and tents and the like. Off to the right, as you're walking down trying to follow your nose to something new. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch a little bit of movement that is not matching with the rest, and a lack of movement. You turn, and the structure you see is closer to that of a large stone water fountain that is raised and has several layers to it. There's a very tiny campfire that is next to it that's maybe 2 feet across that is producing a minimal amount of white smoke. And there's a small trickle of smoke coming out of the peak of the fountain between a cascade of water into the upper portion. In the second ring down is just a display worth of the flatbreads and other and pitas and options there of for bread-like casings, from flats to pockets to rolled and fried cones to heavily fried to the point where that they would not fold if you wanted them to. They will just crack. And below that is another ring that is just the non-meat options that you would find in a gyro. The vegetables, some of the sauces, and just below that are all the different kinds of meats. And you can smell it all just slowly grilling on hot stone that is being kept cool enough to not burn people with a small cascade of water that doesn't seem to touch the food but keeps the stone cool enough to be touched. And behind this, there is a pig that is standing on its hind legs wearing nothing but a butcher's bib. And just hooves on hips. How can I help you?
Some dinners.
We've got food. We've got drink.
We want
We even have
both.
we even have dessert if you're looking for it.
That might be the day for it.
Well, what you got to trade?
Have you got any pumpkin ale?
He pulls out a tankard, like searches for one of the edges and tries to put it under the water. Sniffs it, downs it. Not that one. Finds a different point, does it again. I think the pumpkin's in season.
I'll take that. And I'll take how about a lamb gyro?
I can be yes, that can be done. As you see him take out a long skewering fork, like those that you find at a fondue restaurant, and he just which one of those? As he points at the breads,
That, please.
takes one down, uh, just starts loading it with some meats, pointing at the different things on the vegetable and sauces, and starts loading yours up as you point to things. How you're paying? Takes you a moment to
There.
realize that he is somehow holding this with an actual hoof.
There and any sausages left?
Yes.
As he stops and looks at that, no. That could have been a cousin.
um, we need he pulls up the other ornate hand axe that he has.
No,
Will
wait a
this work?
second.
Oh no? Okay.
Hmm?
I was just told to wait a second, so
Okay.
Pulls out the 25-pound potato.
He almost drops what he has been making. I take the slate back for the sausage. That's amazing. One moment. Finishes the arrow, hands that to you, claps his hooves off, and yes, takes it. The potato is a he can barely hold it with his hand or with his arms, turns around and deposits it on a settled grill. We'll deal with that one later. Um, hmm. Everybody gets something of everybody gets two of those, however you want them made. Everybody gets two drinks to go, and I'm gonna give each of you a special dessert that nobody's actually earned in like a month or so. Congratulations. Um, so to speed this up, each of you get 2 euros of your design with whatever meat you want, up to 2 or 3 meats of your choice. One type of bread, as many vegetables and sauces as will fit into the euro with the rest of it. You get he will help you get the correct selection of from the water that is descending. Turns out that the water is actually so many different flavors of different kinds of drinks, alcoholic and non. Um, you get them in um those very tall cylinder glasses that are like a quarter of a gallon, but they have like a tiny screw top so that you can carry them with you and not spill them, but you have to unscrew them to drink from them. Um,
Like
and then
growlers.
finally, uh, there is a very, very cold, um, it's like a sweet bun. And it is maybe 40 degrees Fahrenheit at the warmest. And it is extremely sweet and tastes like your favorite fruit. And when you eat it, let me know.
Is it something that would melt?
It does not seem to be like it is a dough thing that is currently like almost freezing temperature.
We'll probably have it back at the hotel after we have dinner. Unless Baron's gonna jump into dessert first.
No.
So, once again, for expediency's sake, I'm going to assume each of you take at least some of the euro in the first one before you take to the streets and
Mhm.
finish the rest of your meal back at your hotel.
Mhm.
You ascend your steps, you are back in the room uh, as it welcomes you and remembers you.
Baron, where
And
the hell did you get a 25-pound potato?
and one thing that has seems to have been added to the room, there's a small pedestal that has fog kind of rolling off the top of it. Um, as anybody checking it out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you walk over to it. There's no button, there's no device to it. you put your hand on it and it is cold. It is a stone refrigerator without an inside. It realized what you had and what you need.
Set the drinks down on it.
Mm-hmm.
The drinks, the desserts,
Yep.
and I turn the scene over to you until you use something or ask a question that you need me for.
I just thought he was just gonna start guzzling some of the drink.
1 second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay. Jackson's going to eat on his euros while he waits for Biren to stop
Explain.
stuffing it. Yeah.
I like the fact in this particular game that we spend slightly more time with food than we do with combat.
I mean, why not?
I'm
And
not
just so it
against it.
just so it's known, Adraxon got literally beef and venison euros piled with nothing but meat and sauce.
Oh no, all the tzatziki, all the hummus, all the veggies.
Mm-mm. No, thank you.
And yeah, there are also just it wasn't just the normal meats. Once again, this market is packed with oddities. There were other things there that smelled fantastic that you have never tried before.
Some bison in your euro.
His second one's got mystery. It's a mixture of mystery ones that he's never had before.
When you asked him to pile up things that you've never had before, after like sniffing you a couple of times, he had given the biggest pig grin and went, "You're getting truffles in the quacken." Um, that is 17 different kinds of meat that you've never had before, and a truffle that has just been sliced up and added to it.
Expensive.
And then whatever
Sweet.
sauces you wanted.
Sweet.
They call it the quacken because they don't know what the hell is in it.
All the tzatziki. All of it. Load it.
But yeah, I don't want a monster drink at this hour.
What I'm missing is a mini fridge.
I'm literally a foot away from one.
I know that's what made me think about it. I was like, oh, I need one for in here. But if I put one in here, I'd never have a reason to go to the kitchen. Could I just move the Keurig in here?
You'd still have to go to the kitchen to make pizza.
That's true.
You're not turning that room into basically just everybody's uh dorm room in college where you had 3 hot plates because you couldn't afford anything.
Right?
And one was the pot for ramen, one was the space uh, for the coffee pot because you broke the coffee maker, and and the last one was for literally everything else.
So after he eats his main meal, still waiting on beer, and he is going to try the dessert.
Oh,
Oh, you're back?
yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. So actually, before that, then, where the hell did you get a 25-pound potato?
25-foot potato? I didn't give him that.
I know, I changed it.
Baron kind of gets that devious look on his face and says, "Do you really want to know?"
I mean, it's not like it makes much of a difference to me. I'm from the Fae. Come on now. There's a lot of things that play in trickery and come away with things that weren't theirs to begin with.
I got it from the pizza place.
Fantastic. Did you score anything else?
Maybe a
Cool.
few other things.
Well, hopefully they'll aid you in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely was a good thing today.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure that that pig's got meals for quite a while with that potato.
I want to look at the bag with weight that I picked up earlier.
Okay.
What's inside of it?
You open it and you freeze for a moment because you can't believe what you're looking at. Pull one of them out, and it is a half-inch tall porcelain figurine of Bill Murray. You put that one down, and it's also another one in a different costume from a different movie. This is just a bag full of half-inch tall porcelain figurines of Bill Murray from a myriad of his films.
That's like the most epic score of the day. Over the tail because none of our fucking characters know who Bill Murray is.
And how many of these are there?
73.
That's
That's the number that I rolled on the die when you guessed the correct high or low and the correct odd or even. That's what I rolled, so you got that
Nice.
amount of a thing.
So definitely gonna try that dessert.
So the outer dough is cold but soft. As you bite through it and get to the center, it is pretty much or the dough also tastes like your favorite fruit.
Mhm.
Once you get in, there is and it is basically a giant magical mochi because once you get to the ice cream, even though you have been walking and all of this movement and stuff, it is still cold. You bite into it and it is once again your favorite flavor of ice cream, whatever that happens to be for a Draxon at this point.
Cookie dough.
And um, you feel absolutely exhilarated. I'm going to real quick message you what you got.
Okay. And I do have one question for you, Tormy.
Mm-hmm.
The bag that I'm making for Dutchy,
Mhm.
does it keep the detrimental things of a normal bag of holding?
Yes. So
Okay.
pulling another one out fucks things up.
Overloading it, piercing it, tearing it, ruptures
Yes.
and destroys it, and then
There are difficulties with doing the regular rupturing and tearing things, but yes.
okay.
Since it's specifically in this game, I can easily cope with that part if it needs to be dealt with.
Okay. So I am saving that.
Depending upon what you put that in, explain to the class what they see of how you change a little bit. Because a sudden change like that
Yeah.
deserves a bit of description.
So let me pop this. No, I don't even have to do it from there. Okay. Go here. So does it take effect as he's eating it or after he finishes it?
As soon as you finish it.
So as soon as he finishes it, he gets a little bit more excited than usual, and he seems to move with a little bit more fluidity and flexibility. Yeah, definitely with there, because the only other one I could have put that, well, I could have done. Nah, it's all
Yep. Could have been a little bit hardier.
good. No, I just make sure I get to where I need to go a little quicker. Usually frontline in battle. Nah, it's fantastic. Come on.
I like the
Yes.
face that you made.
Oh, yeah?
As soon as you read it, I saw your reaction, so yeah. So what
Okay, so
about the other two?
it did save. Babe, Governor's Bag of Holding is made. You may have to refresh your page a couple times and wait a couple minutes, but you can add that to your character sheet whenever it shows
All
up.
right. Okay, baby. Deshani will have her dessert.
Once again, the dough on the outside is cold but soft. Tastes like your favorite fruit. You get into the ice cream in the center. It is still cold. There's no melt to it yet. In fact, the entire time you're eating it, it doesn't melt. And it is the flavor of your favorite ice cream.
Only
And
gonna be
as you
strawberry.
finish, you get that.
I will eat mine as well.
I'm going to give the exact same description. So as you finish,
Ooh.
Okay.
Gotta love prizes that you have to be in the game to get.
Mm-hmm.
But you did trade something that was substantial to get that.
Yup.
25
It
pound
was a
potato?
potato.
25-pound potato? That is larger than some children.
That's accurate.
Hmm.
But I think this is a good place for us to call it. So what we end up seeing as each of our companions finds rest, finishes their meals, starts to set in for the night or day or whatever time of weirdness this really is. They find their relaxation, they find their rest. And our vision once again swirls back out, leaving the almost pastel, calming colors chiming in the air and the slight trickle of water. The relaxation of this place. We leave it and return to the darkness, letting it settle, letting us remember, and sadly returning us back to real life. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I know I did. I'm pretty sure the rest of my table did as well.
Yay!
Mhm.
It was fucking amazing.
And with that, I'd like to thank all of you for coming, watching us, and joining us in the gateway. Now, don't let the door hit you on the way out, because we want to see you next time. Good night, everyone.